Okay, I want to address some misinformation. I very commonly see this in more casual circles talking about the Joy-Con mouse. I have seen some people talk about that it will revolutionize Splatoon aiming and that it'll break the sniper class of chargers and that it'll invalidate motion controls and all of these other claims. I've seen so many of these over the past few months since we've had the very idea of a Joy-Con mouse. And if you don't know me, I am a calm Splatoon player. I have played high-level Splatoon for a long time. I've gone to the North American Championships. I know what I'm talking about with this, I promise. Gyro and mouse are not far off. I will not pretend like mouse isn't the better control scheme. Mouse and keyboard is superior. The Joy-Con mouse will probably be a little bit better. But the gap is not going to be that large. The gap will be very small. Small enough to where I'm willing to bet that like 90% of established players are probably just going to stick to the motion controls. I will have some videos linked in the description about motion controls, some of which will be the experience on other shooters like CSGO and Team Fortress 2 that I'd recommend, and then others are going to be on why gyro controls, haven't taken off as much and why they've been underrated for so long and why that shouldn't be the case. So if you want to do more reading and not just take my word for it, I have resources to look into below. Please do so. But gyro controls allow plenty of control over your character and plenty of control over your aim. This game does not have aim assist. No Splatoon game has had any form of aim assist, and the players who learn motion are totally fine. It holds up just fine. The actual thing that will revolutionize it is the input delay. Another video that has been covered in more detail by Dude, I'll have it in the description as well. But Splatoon 2 and 3 have about double the motion input delay of Splatoon 1. Splatoon 1 was about 3 frames on the Wii U, and Splatoon 2 and 3 is about 6 frames. That input delay will more than likely be cut significantly down on the Switch 2. For multiple reasons. It could just be better connectivity settings on the new Pro controllers. It could be the fact that you could wire it directly into the console instead of the dock. And that isn't even talking about the higher hertz rate, refresh rate, or the higher FPS, it could be 120 FPS, which would probably make the game feel even smoother on top of that. All of those things have the potential, if implemented properly, to drastically improve how aiming and just in general input delay for things like movement feels and enhance the capabilities of every player who plays this game. Casual or competitive here, it'll probably feel a lot better for everyone. That will be the thing that makes the game feel a lot different. The Joy-Con mouse is awesome for accessibility reasons. I think it's amazing that people who play mouse and keyboard normally, which is the majority of shooter players I'd assume, can now get into Splatoon if they want to and play with the control scheme much closer to what they're familiar with. I think that is a great thing. I think that accessibility options for games like this are incredibly important and don't get talked about enough, and this is a huge one for a game series that drastically needs better accessibility. I am very, very excited for the Joy-Con mouse when it comes to that regard, and I'm sure there will be plenty of good players with it. But the notion that it will invalidate motion or drastically change the game or something is not accurate. That's all I gotta say. See ya.